It's like Groundhog Day with a slasher twist. Hello everyone and welcome to Movie Reviews by Josh. My name is Josh Terry, and as we get closer to Halloween, I want to tell you about another one of my favorite horror movies. In fact, I'm going to tell you today about two of my favorite horror movies with the hopes that eventually they become three, but I'll get to that in a second. If you like horror comedies, and I love them, you have to check out Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day 2U. It came out in 2017 and 2019, both directed by Christopher Landon, and they both star Jessica Rothe, who you might recognize from the new Utopia series on Amazon. Now, she plays a sorority girl named Tree, short for Teresa, who is forced to relive the day of her death over and over and over again. So it's definitely a riff on the Groundhog Day premise. And I'll be honest, I was kind of skeptical of this movie as I went into it for that reason. I'll talk about that some more as well. Now, the plot basically follows, it's almost kind of a whodunit as, Tree relives this day over and over again and has to figure out who is killing her. And it's kind of fun to see her go through and check off her different friends / enemies, because she's in this kind of this high-end sorority, and she's kind of the queen bee, she's a mean girl, and so lots of people are potential suspects here. What's really great about this first movie is watching Jessica Rothe take her character from a point where you just despise her to a point where you cheer for her. And she did a fantastic job with the performance. Tree at the beginning of the movie is not somebody that you want to cheer for, and she's kind of miserable in it. You might even kind of wonder, why am I watching this movie? This person is terrible. I don't like this character. But what's fun is to see that character go through these experiences and really turn into a genuinely worthy hero for the movie. And then, of course, in the second movie, that transition is not quite necessary, and things turn around a little bit, not just in terms of the plot and the character, but in the tone, where the first movie is definitely kind of a horror comedy that is, mostly kind of riffing on the slasher genre. The second movie is much more of kind of a sci-fi examination, where they get into a little bit more of the behind the scenes and the time space wizardry of what's going on. And both of them together are a lot of fun. And so, like I say, if you like horror comedies, definitely check these two out. I mentioned earlier that I was hoping there'd be a third, because the original idea, Christopher Landon's idea, was to have three movies. And based on the box office, I don't know that that's going to happen. I know they didn't do quite as well as that they had hoped. And of course, in the Corona apocalypse, everything's kind of up in the air anyway. But I'm hoping that they get a chance to finish the series, because I think it definitely deserves it. I think the cast deserves it. I want to see more of this little universe and more from everybody involved. So it's important to keep in mind that Happy Death Day and its sequel are PG-13, which might be a disappointment for a lot of horror fans, because if you're really into gore and a lot of violence and kind of the over-top R-rated horror style movies, you're going to be disappointed by this one, because this movie is really not about the kills and the gore so much as it is about the story and kind of the clever, the wit, and it's more, it still has frightening elements, but I think that it leans a little bit more on the comedy side of the spectrum. It's still definitely not a family-friendly movie. It's definitely not for little kids. It's certainly a PG-13 movie, a little bit of language and some sexual dialogue, really. But the violence is muted enough that it's certainly not an R-rated movie, but not the kind of thing that little kids would really appreciate anyway. Even regardless of the content, I don't think that they really enjoy this movie or its sequel. But I did, and so this sounds like the kind of thing that is up your alley. I definitely recommend it. So what's your favorite horror comedy? Leave your answers in the comments below. Thanks for watching, everybody. This has been Movie Reviews by Josh. My name is Josh Terry, and I would be very, very grateful if you'd subscribe to my channel and leave the notifications on so you can see the new videos as soon as they're posted. Take care and be safe.